What is poppin', y'all? Caramel Rosé's in the building, and we here for story time. So today I'm gonna tell you guys about the time that I got stalked in London. This was my very first time going to London to actually visit. I've had layovers in London, but I didn't go to visit. So this is my first time going to visit. And I was there for maybe like 3 days in total. So I started in London, traveled to a few countries, and then ended up back in London because that was my round trip. Like that was my flight back home. So let's set the tone. I'm there with one of my girls who was studying there for school for a bit. She had to take her train to go back to close to where her school is. I said, don't worry to stay the extra night with me. I'll just stay at a hotel by myself. If it's the one that's near the airport, I'll be fine. My flight's really early in the morning. I'd rather you go home now rather than, you know, being late for class tomorrow. So we said our goodbyes. She caught the train from the airport. Where the hell? Yeah, there is a train station in the airport. So she got the train from the airport and I got my stuff and I started walking. So the way the timing was is our flight was really early in the morning. So I had a few hours until I could check into the hotel. So even though the hotel was like, what, 10 minutes away from the airport, I didn't want to go yet because I couldn't even check in yet. So I'd be doing nothing. So I'm like, you know what? At least the airport's a busy place. Let me just stay in the airport. I'll be fine. I'll catch up on some shows. I'll get something to eat and then I'll head to the hotel. So literally as soon as I started walking, I'm like, okay, let me sit down real quick. So I seen seats right ahead. So I'm like, okay, let me go sit over there and I'm gonna look at a map of this airport because again, I've never traveled here before. I have no idea how this airport looks. I'm like, okay, let me find somewhere that I can sit down and eat. I'll kill an hour eating, then I'll go find somewhere else to sit. That way I'm not in the same spot as well. I travel alone a lot, so I have to be mindful of a lot of things. So, you know, I don't really want to stay in the same place for a long time. Like, you know, you never know who's watching you, you know? So as I'm walking to the seats that I see over there, mind you, for the past few days, I've been losing my mind listening to the accent in London, okay? It's fine here and there, and it's fine when you know you're not in that city because it's unique. But when I was there, I was like, oh my god, you guys all sound like this. No offense. Like, it's a nice accent, but like, it was too overwhelming to me. So whatever. So I started walking, and then I hear, hey yo, what's up? And in my head, I'm like, I know that kind of accent. So I'm like, okay, no, let me just keep walking. Hey yo, I said, what's up? And I'm like, that sounds like a New York man. Okay, let me look. So I looked over and he's like, yo, what's up? And I'm like, oh, you know, just chilling. Like, normally when people talk to me, again, especially when I'm alone, I just act normal. Like, I don't act like, oh, why are you talking to me? I don't look alarmed. I literally just act like it's normal because I don't want to show off no signs that, like, you know, I'm scared or I'm by myself or whatever. So I was like, oh, you know, I'm just chilling. What's up with you? And he's like, oh, you know, I just touched down here, you know, like I'm about to leave, whatever. And I'm like, you flew here this morning and you're leaving tonight? He's like, oh nah, I was in Sweden for the week and my flight back home is from here. I was like, okay, that makes more sense. I'm like, oh, but that's what's up. Like, you're from New York. Like, how was Sweden? Whatever, small talk, you know? Making this casual. And again, I didn't get a bad vibe from him. I literally just thought he was cool. So it's like, I don't mind talking to him. I ain't doing nothing anyway. I gotta kill time anyways. We talking or whatever. Asked where I'm from. I said, you know, I'm from Toronto. I was just visiting my friend, whatever. New York and Toronto is very close. Like, you could drive there if you really wanted. So this conversation wasn't really a waste of time if we were gonna end up still being friends, you know? So I was just like, oh, so like, what are you saying? Like, you know, you have a few hours to kill till your flight. And he's just like, yeah, what are you up to? And I'm like, honestly, I just have a few hours to kill. I just can't check into my hotel yet. And he's like, oh, why don't we just chill for a little bit until you want to go? Like, at least we'll have the company. And I was like, yeah, sure, why not? Let's get to know each other. I'm like, all right. So I was gonna go sit over there just to figure out where to eat. Like, let's go have a seat rather than standing up in the middle of the airport. And he's like, oh, wait, hold on. I have a friend that is with me. And I'm like, oh. And in my head, I'm like, why do you need my company then if you're with someone, you know? I was just like, oh, you came here with someone from New York. He's like, nah, this man's from out here. I met him on the plane. He was sitting beside me. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And like, you can tell he saw that I got thrown off. And he's like, nah, don't worry. Like, I think he's cool people. Like, I think he's cool. So I'm like, all right. So the guy from New York was black, okay? So the way he was just talking to me was like he was just looking out for me. So I was like, all right, I trust you, whatever. The guy ends up walking into the conversation, like, I kid you not, like 30 seconds to a minute later. And it's this like white guy with like dreads and grills and like the most. So he comes and he introduces himself. I'm like, hey, what's up, Rose, how's it going? I never give out my government, sorry, that's not happening. So now I'm still talking to the guy from New York, and I can feel this other guy staring at me, like staring at me, not looking anywhere else. Literally his eyes are piercing at me. I felt so awkward. So I was talking to the guy from New York and I was like, yo, honestly, it was real cool meeting you, man, but like, I'm gonna go, I'm really hungry. Like, I don't want to hold you guys back. I don't want you guys to spend unnecessary money. I'm gonna just do my thing. And the guy beside me is like, I love your hair, it's so dope. So I turned to him, I'm like,
oh, thank you, that's so nice of you. Thank you so much, I appreciate that.
You know, I was just saying thanks. And then the guy from New York, you know, he wasn't trying to make things awkward. He could tell that I didn't feel comfortable. He's like, all right, bet, like, it was cool meeting you, whatever. And again, I thought this guy was super cool. So I'm like, yo, do you have Instagram or anything? Like, I'll follow you on Instagram, at least we could still stay in touch. And he's like, no, I'm actually not on social media like that. But you know what? It was dope meeting you. Like, take care of yourself or whatever. So I was like, okay, Liddy, gotta go. Now I finally make it to the seat. And I'm looking at my phone because I'm trying to find a restaurant to sit at, whatever. And I feel someone standing over me. And I'm like, what the hell? So I look up and it's the guy, the white guy with the dreads. And I was just like, hey, what's up? And he's just like, I heard you told New York that you have Instagram. Like, do you mind if I follow you? And I'm like,
oh no, of course not. Yeah, like, I just told him that I have it. Like, what excuse could I ever come up with now?
Sure, here's my Instagram. So I gave him my Instagram and he was still standing there, like, he wasn't moving. And I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna go. Like, yeah, it was, see you on Instagram. Like, okay, let me get out of this spot because clearly I didn't go far enough. I actually found a restaurant to go to. So that restaurant has a glass window, and if I were to look through that glass window, I can see the bottom. So the main area that I was sitting at and where I just met these people. Whatever, I told homeboy, bye, go find New York and y'all get to know each other. So I left now. He didn't see where I went, okay, because I waited for him to walk away before I walked away. I go upstairs now and I go to the restaurant. I sit down and I'm sitting in this glass area. I'm sitting there and, you know, I get a notification. I'm like, oh, it's probably him following me. I go, click, all right. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna pretend I don't see this because I just don't want to deal with this right now. I left it alone and then I get a message request and it said, hey, it was so nice meeting you. I hope you enjoyed the rest of your stay here in London, whatever. Basically, it was great meeting you. Again, I left it. I did not want to have this conversation right now, especially because we're still in the same building. I just don't want to do it. So then, you know, I order my food, I'm chilling, and then I get a second message. Same man saying, hey, if you see New York, I don't remember his name. If you see New York, can you let him know his uncle called back on my phone and said this. I think he went looking for you, so if you're with him, can you let him know? So now I'm there like, first of all, New York is not with me right now. And second of all, I'm like, shoot, New York probably ran away from him too. So that was that. Again, I left it. I did not answer. Third message. Hey, I live not too far from the airport. I would love if we can hang out for a bit before you leave. You seem like a really sweet person. La la la, re te te. And I'm like, damn, I'm not doing this. And I'm like, I don't want to block him. I don't want to do anything like that yet, because between now and the time I get to my airport, he may or may not still see me and run into me, and that's just gonna be awkward. So I'm like, okay, let me just leave it. Let me just act like I'm not seeing anything. Let me just try to avoid him while I'm still in this airport. Now I'm eating, and another 20 minutes or so pass by. My phone starts ringing. This man is video calling me on Instagram, and I'm like, oh my gosh, are you joking right now? So I see the incoming call. I let it ring, and it stops, and I'm like, yo, this is crazy. So I'm looking, because remember, I'm in this glass area, so from below you probably wouldn't be able to see up, because I definitely didn't notice it when I was down there. But as I'm up, I'm looking down, and he's actually in the same spot that I was sitting, like standing around, looking, walking around, looking at his phone. And I see another call come in, and I'm literally looking at him as he's looking around, as he's calling me. And I'm like, yo, this man is trying to find me right now. Like, this is insane. So now I'm here and I'm like, yo, I don't even know what to do. Like, I can't leave yet. I don't want to go to the hotel. I'm still like, what, 3 hours early. Like, I don't want to go. So I'm like, okay, I'm here, let me switch spots, let me go somewhere else, because I'm almost done eating. I don't want to stay in the restaurant. So that's exactly what I do. I go in an area that's kind of populated, so it's like seats that are back to back, right? So you're sitting facing this way or you're sitting facing that way. So I'm sitting there, there's outlets, you know, everyone's sitting with their headphones in, kind of tuned out, and I'm like, okay, this is perfect. So I sit there and I started watching my show, and I start to doze off. Mind you, on this trip we have been going to bed at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and then leaving at 6 a.m. or sometimes even 5 a.m. to catch our flight to go to our next place. So this whole week I haven't been sleeping. So I've been dying for this day for me to go to my hotel and just sleep or just relax for the day. So I'm here and I'm watching, and I'm like, yo, I'm fighting myself not to fall asleep. I doze off. I'm semi-awake, but I'm also semi-sleeping. I want to say maybe like 40 minutes pass by and I'm dozed off. 30 to 40 minutes pass by and I wake up. I kid you not, guys. I wake up, and of course I wake up and like I kind of jumped up, because again, like, it's not like me to be falling asleep in public places like that. So I kind of jump up, and like the first thing I do is look at my surroundings, see who's around me, see what's going on. So I'm looking around me, and I turn to the seats that are directly behind me, the ones that are back to back to me. The man sitting right behind me, he's actually sleeping right behind me. And I'm like, are you joking? He's sitting right behind me, and like he couldn't tell that I had looked yet. I don't know if it was a seat right behind me or if it was like one beside or one on the other side, whatever. It was somewhere very close behind me, and I saw that he was sleeping. I saw that his eyes were closed, and I looked at him. I noticed it was him. I'm like, yep, nope, and I cut. I'm like, I do not care how many euros, how much dollars, how much whatever these people want in the hotel to let me in. I'm going. I'm not staying in this airport, okay? So that's exactly what I did. Grab my luggage and I go. Went to the hotel. Conveniently enough, most hotels, if you're an hour before check-in, they'll let you in. So I sat in the lobby for 10-15 minutes. Got to my hotel, blocked that man off my stuff, and yeah, that's the end of that. That was the time that I got stalked in London in the airport. Not fun. Moral of the story: don't be nice. Just, someone tries to talk to you, just keep walking. I should have never stopped, but it's my problem. Every time I travel, I like making friends. I talk to strangers. It's what I do. But maybe I shouldn't have done it that time. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe if you aren't already. Got a lot of story times up my sleeve, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching.